everybody on this gloomy looking Monday here in South Florida. Did you miss me? Going to talk about some seriously delinquent mortgages here in South Florida. But first, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Barry Cunningham. I'm a real estate investor and burgeoning real estate developer here in South Florida. Been involved in over 1,000 plus transactions over the last, I'd say 20, 25 years. Had a great ride, and based on experience, based on where I've been and things I've done, I'm able to tap back into and look a lot of the spreadsheets and deal sheets that I've had over the decade or two and see where things were. Look at comps, look at foreclosures, look at all the different, the different things that one would look at to make sure that things are happening the way I think they're happening. I've often talked about the whole crystal ball thing, and now I'm actually seeing that crystal ball take place. And it's been pretty wild last, I'd say 7 or 8 days. I haven't been able to do nearly as many videos because we've been just absolutely swamped. When I say swamped, I mean crazy swamped, looking at deals, getting some inspections done, going through and making sure that the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. There's people looking to really do some deals down here. And it's a fun time to be involved in real estate investing if you know what you're doing. But most of what I'm doing, as I'm advising you, if you're involved in real estate investing, I don't do much retail stuff in terms of, it's a great time to buy and all that kind of crap. I look at making money in real estate, See, the whole idea behind doing all of this is to cash in, make some money on real estate. So I have to be able to prognosticate. I have to be able to dig in and do due diligence and see where things are headed, where they've been, where they're headed, where they are now, and then be able to extrapolate that data and talk to my various investors and say, hey guys, here's where we need to be looking. And man, that crystal ball that I keep talking about is just starting to spit out some serious, great data. You see, we're now looking at the calendar here, October 19th. So now it's basically preseason for real estate investors. You know how there's preseason in baseball and you go down to spring training and there's preseason in football and you get ready for the actual season. No, it's preseason for real estate investing. Right now it's preseason. We're talking about 8-10 weeks until January 1st when the foreclosure moratorium supposedly expires. We got 2 weeks to an election. Right now is where you need to be putting your money, your funding in place, your inspectors, your rehab team. If you're going to do that, you need to be putting all that in place and be ready to hit the ground running on January 1st or thereabouts. It's going to get crazy. In one of my previous videos I mentioned and I talked about the crop report. The crop report being in the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, and how they cornered the orange juice market because they were able to see the crop report in advance and able to get in and have the Dukes go broke while they made a ton of money because they knew what was coming. They knew what was coming. And so do we. There's no doubt. I no longer have any doubt as to what's going to be happening. Neither should you. If you've been following along, you should now know to ignore everything you're hearing from realtors. Ignore everything you're seeing from CNBC. Ignore everything that you see where people are saying it's a great time to buy. Now let me put an asterisk next to that. As people have asked me, if you're looking to buy a home that you're going to live in for 10 or 12 years and you don't really care about the fluctuation in the market, now might be a good time to buy. because you're not going to see interest rates this low for a long time. If you can get in at a 2 or 3 or 4% mortgage, hell yeah, go ahead and buy. Make sure you're going to stay there for a while. Make sure you don't watch what happens with your property values. Just ignore it. Hey, I'm in a great house. The wife and I and the family love it, and we're going to ride this out. And we only have a 3 or 4% mortgage, so we're going to be good. We're going to be good. Now, with that asterisk already in place, with knowing that asterisk that it is a good time to buy for people who intend on being in a property for a good long time. Now let's talk about making money. See, I would never, ever buy a property at the height of the market. And right now, I don't know how much higher this market could go. We are definitely at an apex. We are definitely seeing market values go to a point of unbelievable heights. We're seeing people in bidding wars. We're seeing people that are buying houses sight unseen and just wiring money. It's become such a problem because people are now able to, I don't know how they do it, but hack wire transfers, because people are wiring money sight unseen down to title agencies and attorneys. It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely crazy. I don't want to deal that much that I have to rush, and I doggone sure don't want to get into a bidding war. If I'm going to get into any kind of a bidding war, if I'm going to get into any type of going against somebody and keep raising my offer, that's only at an auction. And even then, I have a ceiling that I know, as well as I know the guy next to me, when he's bidding, he's got a ceiling as well. We all know what our ceiling is. We know where we need to be to make some money. And you're not going to get the foolhardy bidding and wide open auctioning that you're seeing going on in the open market right now. I spoke to a realtor friend of mine. She had a house, the client that wanted a house. The house ended up selling for close to $200,000 over market value and way over list price. People from up north fell in love with the house. They had the money. Boom. They're doing it. Now, I've got some property in that area, so makes the comp value go boom, way up. You got to love when that happens. So right now I'm putting together all of my ducks, getting them in a row, getting ready to buy some property, getting ready to invest. Be ready for the foreclosures. Be ready for what's really going to be the meat on the table, and be able to take some things down. Not looking to move into someplace, looking to make money. Real estate is a commodity for me. If you're investing, real estate is a commodity for you. The whole idea is to trade this commodity for cash, to make money, which is a different mindset altogether than somebody looking to move in a house. So if you understand that difference, that we're not looking to move into houses, that we're looking to basically liquidate, use it as a commodity, buy and sell, I've got some information for you right after this.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
Now understand, that's just not 30 seconds of fluff. I actually want you to give me a call if you're looking to invest in some South Florida real estate. We've got some great deals. We're looking actively right now for partners. People are looking for a good, reasonable, secured return on real estate in South Florida. If you are interested in earning pretty much secured and pretty much, in some instances, depending on where we go, guaranteed returns of 8% or more, as high as possibly 33% if you're involved in the deal and not just a lender, make sure that you definitely give me a call and we can talk about doing a deal. I'd love to get you involved in a deal. So let's talk about something. About, I don't know, let's see, about a month ago, I said about, sound like a Canadian, about, this came out on September 4th. And on September 4th, the South Florida Business Journal said that there are more than 33,000 homeowners in default and behind on their FHA mortgages. That's just FHA. And I warned you a month ago that this was huge. This is extremely problematic, that 33,000 homeowners just here in South Florida are behind on their FHA mortgages. So you have to wonder how many people are behind on all the mortgages in South Florida. And since this was September 4th when this article came out, have things improved? Are things getting better in the marketplace? We're talking about the appreciation and people being at the apex and outbidding each other, but are people understanding the iceberg in the water, the proverbial iceberg dead ahead that I've spoken about many times? You know, right here it says the delinquency rate soared past 20% during the COVID-19 pandemic. We're still in a pandemic, supposedly. We also have an election that's going to, one way or the other, put things in a crazy amount of flux. Currently and historically, FHA lending, and I think they say it in here, yeah, right here, makes up 1/5 of all mortgages in South Florida. So that's 20% of all of the mortgages in South Florida are FHA. Not big. I mean, obviously that means 80% aren't FHA, but 33,000 mortgages. Just grasp that. That's 33,000 people who are behind on their mortgage. And what's even worse than that is that these people aren't going to catch up. I mean, when you look at this here and say that, there's no court actions taking place right now because until the CDC moratorium expires or gets vacated, these foreclosures are going to continue to add up. In a normal marketplace that we've seen, in a normal marketplace, foreclosures just happen. They just happen as a part of the real estate business. But what we've seen in the last 7 or 8 months is just they're being held back. They're behind the wall. There's a monster in the closet. Just think about that. 33,000 mortgages, just of the FHA variety, are delinquent. Now, how many of those will go to complete delinquency and go to foreclosure? We don't know. Some people may go ahead and be able to catch up or modify or do different things. But, when you look at these numbers and you see here, 13,400 were in Miami-Dade, 12,000 are in Broward, and 7,500 are Palm Beach County. That tells you that there's just a ton of inventory being held back from people. You don't even know it's there. It's worse than shadow inventory. It's closeted inventory. Just think about that. You bought a house. You don't know what the guy next door, whether his house is going to get liquidated by Wells Fargo. You don't know. But we can look at all that information. It is given to us. All you have to do is check the county records. But what we're seeing right now is we're seeing final judgments and list pendences being filed, but no action being taken because of the moratorium. Things aren't being able to take its normal course in business. It's just not happening. So when we talk about all the different things that are going on, we do have that crystal ball. That crystal ball is telling us a lot of information. And the whole idea behind it is it getting better or is it getting worse? Well, this article, as you can see, I posted this, or rather talked about it, was posted on September 4th. So here we are a month and a half later, October 19th. How are things going? Well, I'm going to tell you. The South Florida Journal on October 13th, last week, said seriously delinquent mortgages are still on the rise in South Florida. It's continuing to go up. The problem here. It's not getting any better. It's only getting worse. Now they're also counting all of the mortgages, not just FHA. And what we're seeing is 8.4% of South Florida mortgages are seriously delinquent. Not just delinquent, not late, seriously delinquent. What does that mean? That means they're at least 90 days past due or in some stage of foreclosure. Boom, boom. Crystal ball stuff, you seeing it? You seeing the crystal ball? That's up from 7.1% in June and just 2% in July 2019. So we've got 400%, 4 times the amount of delinquent 90-day plus mortgages just here in South Florida. And as you continue to look at some of this stuff, South Florida had the third highest annual increase. There were fewer numbers in the early stages of delinquency in South Florida. Said 12.1% were at least 30 days. But if you look down here, let me just make sure you can see this. July marked a 21-year high in the rate of loans at least 120 days delinquent. 120 days delinquent. Highest in 21 years. So let me ask you a question. You think John, who used to own a restaurant, who's now 4 months at least behind on his mortgage, who may be just opening, is going to go back and pay all of that? Or is John going to look to move on and sell his property, maybe retain some of his equity? Pretty easy to see where this thing is going. You see, the old thing that Warren used to say, or has said, that I always tell people, is right now there's a lot of greedy people. People are trying to outbid each other, like I told you, trying to do everything they can to get the best deal. And this is when us as investors, we need to pull back and say, whoa, I'm a little fearful of this market. I'm a bit afraid here. You people are being extremely greedy. I'm just going to pull back and look for a deal here or there that makes sense, but I'm not getting involved in this mess. But when we're seeing all of these delinquent mortgages continue to just compile and compound upon each other, pretty soon there's going to be a lot of fearful people out there. And when these fearful people out there realize that they are completely screwed, that the courts reopen, that the banks are going to push ahead with foreclosures, that's when it's time for us to be greedy. That's what I'm telling you. And the data backs it up. I mean, there are so many people who are behind on their mortgage right now. You can find this information out. You can do the due diligence. You can look on the county court records. You can see the final judgments. You can see the list pendencies. There are tens of thousands of them just sitting there. That inventory hasn't hit the market yet. I mean, we're reading stories where, stuff in Palm Beach is like, Palm Beach may be the number one, I don't mean West Palm Beach, actual Palm Beach Island is the number one real estate market in the world right now. Tons of money moving into South Florida. Tons of money coming from other areas and people are jumping in here. Tiger Woods' ex-wife sold her mansion in North Palm Beach for $22 million. Guy from Rockstar Energy Drink bought it. He flipped it in 30 days for $40 million. Tons of money coming in. And right now is the time to start putting your network together. And like I've said, if you're looking at doing a deal or you want to get involved in some real estate, you want to see some returns, give me a call. I am actively looking for people who want to invest in South Florida real estate. we're going to see things take off like we haven't seen in 10, 12, 15 years. It's going to be crazy. And I can't be clearer about it to people. I'm trying to show you all of this information. I'm trying to let you know how you can find out for yourself. I've basically taken your need for a crystal ball away. You don't need the crystal ball. You now know where to go. You need to be looking at final judgments and list pendencies, pulling them down and contacting those homeowners, many of whom are not going to survive beyond December 31st or whenever the moratorium is lifted. They're going to be sheriffs knocking on doors, posting 24-day notices, 24-hour notices, telling people they got to move. And before this happens, long before this happens, people have to access, find out what their equity is. Just did a deal. Property is probably worth about $515, $520. We picked it up for $385. $385. Guy's like, hey, I just need some cash to move on. You can go ahead and worry about the rest of this stuff with the courts and everything, which is fine. We'll go ahead and turn our lawyers over to the bank and let them talk about resolving the foreclosure. That's what prudent real estate investors are doing right now. Not putting signs on the side of the road, not knocking on doors and anything crazy like that, not buying any guru courses. You don't need that. Save your friggin' money. Do your homework. There is no easy way about this. You have to learn the comps in a neighborhood. Then you need to go and look at the foreclosures that are in final judgment or even list pendants. Then you have to do your ability to make those numbers and see what it works. See what the equity that's stored in that property. Find out if that homeowner, what they need to move on. If you can put all that kind of stuff together, you're going to be able to have a buffet of sorts in terms of deals to look at. People are going to be calling you. If they know you can close, if they know you've got the money, then of course they're going to give you a call. Be known as somebody who can close, not somebody who's just out there winging it. So over the next, I'd say, week or two, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but I'm going to get into the construction of deals and how we put these things together. And I'm going to be talking to some hard money lenders and show you how to structure things so that if you want to do a deal like this and you have, you have the ability to come up with the money to put it together. Or you can just partner with a guy like me. Either way, home run. So, sorry I've been away for, the last 7 days or so. I wanted to do this video last week. I got sick, couldn't do it. Then I actually did do it. Talked the entire time, looked down, and I forgot to hit the doggone button to start the video. Shit happens. But I'll be back tomorrow for sure. Every day I'm going to push this thing like I'm a presidential candidate. We're going to try and get some deals done. We're going to try and get some people involved in some deals. And, if you want to do a deal with me, give me a call. I'm definitely looking forward to talking to some people who want to do some deals. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.